Now, the Ministry of Culture and Tourism officially handed over the newly reconstructed House Number 1. Elisa Kukutu reports.
The Ministry of Culture and Tourism officially handed over the completed House Number 1 museum project to the Central Islands Provincial Government. The House Number 1 project involved the reconstruction of the historic residence of former Resident Commissioner Mr. Charles Woodford as it was during the British Protectorate era in Solomon Islands. In her remarks at the handing over, Minister of Culture and Tourism, Honourable Choylin Douglas, said the newly built residence will be transformed into a museum to preserve the country's heritage and culture.
The House Number 1 project is an important national initiative to preserve our heritage and culture and to create an anchor for tourism development in this historic township. The island of Tulagi holds multiple layers of rich and significant history, from its indigenous cultural heritage to its role as the first capital of Solomon Islands under British colonial administration, from its prominence in World War II history to its role in our early commercial story as the site of the country's first fish cannery. Our vision is to develop a museum here that brings together these diverse strands of history and presents them in a way that educates, inspires, and connects our future generations to our past, while also attracting visitors to come and experience Tulagi as a cultural and heritage destination. We must know our history. Today's event marks the handing over of the completed building to the ministry and the province, but the journey continues. We will now begin the important work of collecting, curating, and exhibiting historical materials that will bring this space to life.
Meanwhile, Premier of Central Islands Province, Honourable Michael Salini, said they are proud to host such important historical facility.
The event today also demonstrates the continued support of the Solomon Islands National Government through the Ministry of Culture and Tourism in its vision to develop Central Province. And for that, we are truly grateful and thankful. We thank you, Minister, and your good staff for the continuous partnership and support to Central Province. Ladies and gentlemen, this very site that we are standing today has its own historical significance. It was the administrative capital of the British Solomon Islands Protectorate from 1897 until 1942. Ladies and gentlemen, the history of Tulagi as the first capital is also the history of this country. And the Number 1 House is an integral part of that history. That is why the Number 1 House project is not only important to Central Province, but also to the country.
The British High Commissioner to Solomon Islands, His Excellency Paul Turner, said they are more than happy to help the ministry hold the Number 1 Museum Project's first exhibition.
And I was really touched to see that it's actually the government of Solomon Islands that's actually been really leading this process and funding it. And that's really quite an honour and also a sort of thing that, as I said, touches you, because it shows the level of shared history that our two nations have, but it also shows how much you're valuing the history. I'm certainly looking forward to seeing how much we can really develop it into a museum.
SIBC News understands the House Number 1 project plans to hold its first exhibition in the fourth quarter of this year. For SIBC TV, I'm Elisa Kukutu.